Hello and welcome to this playthrough of Factorio, where I am building a megabase on Earth. I am using a mod, Cities of Earth, focusing on the Old World Hemisphere. My goal is to reach 10,000 science per minute with a rail-based design. The resources are set to maximum size and density, and biters and pollution are turned off. The mod list is shown in the description, as well as a link to my Twitch channel, High Speed. Please come visit me there. Questions and comments are welcome. Thank you for watching. Because the train is not an entity. The train is it's 8 wagons are entities. That's originally what I had, but it doesn't have it. It is simpler, but it doesn't have any value to determine whether or not I should be balancing. While we watch those. So if we go back 10 hours and we're looking at yesterday's, if they're all balanced and none are unbalanced. Yeah, but how am I going to balance them if they don't act on the same information? I could have, and I have, had some wagons that performed at different speeds than others. Matter of fact, in the fluids, it's still that way. You get one extra or one missing piece of material, and that wagon is just gonna, that whole chain of wagons is going to get downstream, continually getting an off quantity number of resources. I don't even unload until completely empty. I unload until empty, but I also unload, I stop unloading after 60 seconds just to get out of there. In a perfect world, all of the trains empty at the same rate, and all of the material gets used appropriately, and then they all get loaded onto trains at the correct rate. But that ain't this. I have to be able to deal with one extra or one too few, and how that escalates across, how that moves through the chain of production. And it's the price I pay for not having a balancer. So if we go back to science here, we go back 10 hours, we can see where I was running. This is production science, the purple that I'm trying to fix now. You can see where I started to shut it down and things were collapsing. This is when chemical science ran out of sulfur. But if we set those aside... Oh, hey, Colonel Will, if you're still here, do you measure off consumption or production? Which one do you consider to be your... Because I can consume, you know... This is whack-a-mole shit here. Damn it! Got him. So I'm able to sustain everything else. It's all working fine. So what I did to fix it, Gopher, I'll show you in a second right after this launch, because I just really love Love watching the launches. So go for what I did to figure it out is I looked at the behavior of the consumption. And if we look at this plastic is always being pulled. Let's look at a simpler one. Here's a good one. This solid fuel is always being pulled from the left side on this one. And on this one, it's being pulled from, well, left and right, right? So I set this little tiny one belt side balancer. And what happens is these pull somewhat 2-to-1 ratio, pretty much. It's not perfect, but what it does is it gets one side and then the other side supports it. So I've always got a full belt coming out. It looks ugly up here, but at the end of the day, when things are really cooking and being used, which they're not here, when things are being heavily used, we still see that I get, and I'm looking for a place where they're heavily used, but I'm not finding it. So they don't unload from the chests evenly because they don't get drawn from evenly. But downstream, they balance themselves out. See, this is not good to see. No production happening. Wait. Why are you here? Damn it, this is still wrong. You should be A and... You should be A and A. Empty cargo, time past 60. So you're A and A. You're A and A. You're not supposed to be A and B. You're supposed to be B and B. You are A, B, A, A, and you are A, B, B. You are B and B. I'm missing a train here. You are A and A, A and A. I've got too many of you. Full cargo. Empty, inactive, no. Time past 60. I don't have a way to balance consumption because the design, it is always going to be pulling from the inside. So what I did to compensate for that is that these support the inside of where they are. These prod mods end up on the outside of this assembler, and so their supportive, their little extra side loading is to support that belt that gets pulled. These furnaces, they come to the other side of that assembler, and so it's always pulling from that one belt side, and so its cheaty belt is on the other side. That's why these alternate, is because of where are they being consumed from, who's pulling them, right? This one is pulling on that side of it, and this one is pulling on that side of it, so the little support balancer, the side loading balance belt, is supporting the one that is the lane that is being pulled from. Oh, I just smashed it in there. You have rails. You should be coming here. Yes, good. So by shutting it off and having a rather rapid turnaround, I am eliminating what was a 1 hour buffer. But we can see this rail backing up on these belts, so that's good. And UPS falling to 30. This was supposed to alternate, and it did not. There we go. How many do you make? 3. Do you think this thing is just going at 3, or is it waiting for more? I don't see how, Gopher. You may be right, but I probably am not smart enough to understand that. So, and I'm not changing it now. I've got over 1,000 stations that are almost all identical. So adding a combinator would slow my game down, and it would be fixing a problem I've solved through this little belt hook. So I'd be changing something and not really having an improvement. Well, Hitch made it to California. So with all of them working, this is what a full belt looks like. Just can't feed it any more rails, so. Should have built this differently, that's for damn sure. Not getting enough rails still. Don't understand why. They are pretty much identical, with this being just a little bit longer. One and 8. Well, 7, 4, and 6 just ain't pulling much. Well, wait a minute now. You're not full. There's no stone coming here. I've got iron on. Oh, god damn it. Let's go fix that. Well, I guess we know that it does need that third one, and that with the third one it does work. No, I didn't clean the belt off enough. There was an underground belt that must have had some rail on it, some steel on it. So I've got a polluted belt right here, and you can see it right there. Because I switched iron and steel from sides. There we go. Do a little more cleanup here. If I do it right, then these will all get picked up before those run out of power. I can then pick them up. That was nice. I love that efficiency. Okay, now, if I delete all of these, it should all just work. And anybody who gets stuck, well, they'll eventually run out of juice and go back to their network. And then if I need it, I have the room to put another one of these down. I can keep removing these. Yeah, you see, they're going to complain, but they're going to run out of power eventually. Because they don't know how to get back. But when they run out of power, they'll go back. I don't want to have to deal with those power poles and that radar in the future. Yeah, I've had them get stuck, and I just let them run out of power, and then they reset. They will nest to a different network. So that'll get taken care of. Yep, that was pucker. Get over it. You're probably still short on rails. Oh. Oh, well, it helps if I turn the train on. Let's see if we have any manual trains. Nakogami, welcome. Why would you say no path? No path to this. Yeah, the slow pucker. I'm looking for trains that are complaining. India looks good. Yep, that's right. I'm probably going to send that train for deconstruction because I haven't needed it. Alright, let's go back home and do some other upgrades while we wait. First off, we can clean all this up. That seems to have been a better design than what I had. Combots are really good. Really good. I'd say that's the reason I keep playing. Just because construction bots are so good. Alright, so there was an empty. There's this thing that I don't even know what it does. These are all builder trains. That was a weird flicker. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. On to military science. Those are my fuel trains. Well, that's part of the problem. In Gopher, I went to a neighborhood model, so I don't have a global thing. When I had global thing, the trains just kept running into each other, doing stupid things. So I started segmenting what I was doing to control where the trains were going. Because if they could go anywhere, they would do stupid things. I'll show you when I'm done here. I'm almost done, but I'll show you what caused me to segment my trains. There was one specific piece of track that I solved in a couple different ways, but what was happening is that a plastic train was going to the other side of Saudi Arabia to feed plastic to a red circuit build when there was a plastic train right next to it. And it had a red circuit network right next to it too. And that just doesn't work for me. So I gave those train stations unique names and dedicated those trains so the traffic would stay local. Yeah, I mean, it was really nice to be able to, because I had a spreadsheet that told me exactly how many, yeah, I created smaller globes, neighborhoods. I had a spreadsheet that told me how many trains I needed to move the iron around, for example, and I just built that many trains. And then, one or two more to act as buffers. But I had a massive traffic jam right here. 4 lanes blocked up all the time. And one of the trains that was doing stupid things was this train, this plastic train, who is only supposed to service this. It should be full-time busy feeding this red circuit build. And this plastic train was going over here to feed this red circuit. And this plastic train was coming down here to feed this one. And this one was fucking off. I don't know what it was doing. By then, I was seeing red. And I was like, we're done here. I'm not doing this. So I set this one to say that this plastic train can only go to this station. If I had to do it all over again, I would do like I did green and red circuits like this, neighborhoods, where I looked at these two, and by my calculations, green and red, military and purple, so gray and purple, and then blue and yellow, they pair together nicely in terms of resources and sub-resources. So this red and green network that you see here, everything they need comes from this copper and these 2 irons. The military science is kind of nicely contained. Here's military science. It needs walls, grenades, and piercing ammo. Piercing ammo needs normal ammo. Grenades need coal, which I'm getting from down here. Grenades need iron, and the ammo needs iron, which I'm getting from here. The walls need brick, which I'm getting from right here. And the ammo needs copper, which I'm getting from here. So basically, other than copper and steel, everything this needs is local to this network. So all of these trains never come out onto this train bus. And so I never have that massive flux of traffic. Yeah, I don't use LTN, so. Let's see if this got fixed. I don't know that LTN would have fixed it, because LTN would have sent things where they needed to be, and then they would have just clogged into the network. They would have gotten in each other's way. My goal was to minimize where trains needed to leave. Like, if I really wanted to optimize things, I would have done something like taken the output of this train, and just fed it right here, so that it didn't even come out, like I did here, right? These rail trains, these 2 rail trains, never cross here. Now, this isn't a great setup, and I should have swapped these 2. But the same thing, these 2 rail trains never exceed that intersection. They never come out here. Because we know what would happen someday is if I just had generic iron supply. So like these iron sticks are getting iron from here. But if this wasn't unique to purple, that at some point in time this game would go, oh, here's an iron train that has iron on it. We'll send this train over here. And then this thing would run out of resources before that frickin' train arrived at this station. So Not doing that. So if I'm going to try and squeeze this, what I should probably do is start by hard coding these and reducing this. I don't really want to. So I won't. We're gonna go paint with bricks while we wait. Let's see how this is looking. Don't be doing that. Don't you be doing that. What the hell? Why is this all failing? We're going to be starting from 0 science. Gores, thanks for the follow. I'll show you your wagon in just a minute. Thanks for the follow. And you get your name on a wagon. So there you are, right next to Stanity, on an iron train in Saudi Arabia, supplying purple and blue. You're supplying engines. You're making engines. I hope you brought a hat and some gloves because it's hot down there. I gotta take a quick break. I guess I gotta let science catch up here. I burned through all that science in the buffer, which is what I wanted to do. Back in a minute. And just a reminder, if you're a subscriber and we're in Train Saver, you can use the NT command, next train, to have it switch to the next train. All right, so we're coming back online now. I mean, we're not fully consuming 10K, so producing 10K is not that big of a deal. I'm not happy about this, the utility science falling off on me. What happened there? Maybe it just got full. Yeah, it just got full. All right, so these are going to be unloaders. See, that's a 2. I think I lost the 4-lane unloader. Yeah, I did. So I'll have to make a new one. Lamlai, thank you for the follow. For following, you get your name on a cargo wagon. And in this case, that cargo wagon has got iron plate on it. But it's up in Russia. It's cold up there. Draco, you get your name on a green science or a green circuit train in Russia also. Not as cold as the Arctic Circle, but there you are. Draco Dragon on a train. Thank you for the follow, both of you, each of you. All right. So is that how I want this to be? So where is that supposed to be? What are you needing? Gray stone brick. And that is tangerine. Well, thank you. So I want to make one of these that is for 383. All right. And then I'll put something in between as well. Let's see. What? Logistics. Which color is logistics? Why did they all fall? Green. You're telling me the green is failing right now. Yeah, we're not using it, that's why. I gotta get all these other buffers to clear out. I don't like seeing a destination full on these trains, and I might change that on all of them. Yeah, because the blue circuit, the blue science that it loads from, isn't requesting a second train. Right? So this is a situation for these where I've got 2 trains to make sure that one's never in transit, but I've got this soft lock situation where this isn't asking for a train right now. It is now. So it's asking for a train, but the place where it would go has got a train. So it could be that I have too many trains. Or I need to put in that secondary station. How am I out of power? Ooh, buddy, we're gonna cap 90 gigawasps.